Hello everybody, welcome to this edition of Know Your MMM. In this particular video, I'll be talking about the ideology of MMM, how MMM really works. It's really a big part of the whole stuff because a lot of people are being skeptical, like how could MMM be able to pay out such huge and big sum of percentages and interest month after month, with the whole hooks of that, one day it's going to fall. Okay, we'll get to find out how that really works. And here too, I'm going to talk about the rules and regulation of MMM, the benefits. And benefits, talking about benefits, I'm talking about the bonuses, the program itself, and the growth pattern of MMM, the reach of MMM, and other things that have to do with Triple M. First of all, I'll start with my own story. My name is Prince George. How I got to know Triple M. A friend of mine talked to me about it. This my friend we've known for a very long time. He's my oldest friend. We are best of friends. And he's some kind of person that if he tells me that, Prince, you see, this thing is going to really pay, I want you to pay attention to it. I don't really have an option. I think I'll do something about it because I trust him, as in the trust I have for him is really. But when it comes to money, money, you don't want to trust everybody with your money, because you go bankrupt, and when you go bankrupt, you're the ones who you just went bankrupt, in fact. So when it comes to my money, I'm really skeptical, just like every other person. But I'm also a wise and calculative, individual. Just like you, with your money, everybody calculates his money. When it gets to money, then everybody knows how to, do mathematics. But he talked to me about MMM by actually practically doing MMM. He joined MMM after a month. After a month, he provided help. After a month of providing help, he requested to get help. And he was paid, prompt. He called me that morning, and out of the whole excitement, he told me, "Man, Prince, I think I want you to join this thing. This is going to be something, and I don't want when this thing comes off, you be somewhere and be like, wow, I wish I joined this." As a friend, I'm telling you, you really have to, do something about this. I was like, okay, I trust you. I'll need you to explain this more to me, but for now, I think I'm going to dive in. I've done a lot of stuff. Trying one more is not going to be really bad. And for the fact that I've seen that it paid, it paid you in that short space of time. 30 days, it's almost like time flies, So 30 days was almost like 1 week to me. So I said, okay, I'm fully in. Just let me know more about it. So I sent him details. He signed me on. Then I told him, okay, now tell me about it, because the reason I could actually jump into MMM without asking too much questions, I saw somebody who did it. Then the second reason is the fact that in MMM, when you decide to provide help, your money still stays with you. So even on that particular day when they match you with somebody to pay, you can still decide not to, pay. Nobody will arrest you. It is not illegal, to be quite frank. So because you said you will do something and you don't do it, everybody does that. So it's no big deal. So I was like, okay, since it's not compulsory, since I'm not like obligated that I must do this, okay, start me up. If I don't like what it is, I remember that day when they call me to pay, I won't pay, So I just moved in. 17 days after I was marked, I went. By this time I've actually understood how this thing works, but I still want to practically see somebody get my help, and then I receive help, because it's a real, it's it has to do with money, to be quite honest. So 17 days after I paid into someone's account, I snapped my teller, uploaded it, and then the person confirmed. 19 days after, I decided, okay, let me see how this thing work. I requested for help. So few hours, 2 hours to be precise, somebody paid into my account, and I was like, wow, this is real. I called my friend. I said, yeah, they just paid into my account. Like, seriously. Okay, now I'm really ready to do this. So what I did was, I now, for the initial fund I started with, I quadrupled it. I did like 4 times that, or even a little bit more than 4 times that. Because I started with like 50, so I moved up to like 220 straight, and that has been a success story for me. I've been in MMM for like 3 months, but now I need you to understand how this works. What MM is trying to do is, we are trying to set a fair financial order. A financial order where you work and you reap what you really sow. From what we have right now, there is no justice in the world. We have people on TV every day talking about their pension not being paid, their gratuities not being paid, salaries not being paid, a lot of strike action going on. In fact, these days strike is just like the order of the day. You feel you are just you've not been paid for some time, well, go out in the streets, strike. I feel they apply it, but for me at this particular point, I'm not feeling the pain like I would have. I'm not, to be quite honest. These days I'm quite selective with the jobs I pick. I'm a brand consultant to be in trade. So what we're trying to do is make sure that for every single money you have, for every single money you put in the bank, that you can make 30% from that money, if you decide to give it as help. That the power of giving has the potential of giving you 28 times what you actually gave in a space of 12 months. That's like a year. And we have proven how that works. Now, this is how MMM works. We are the first, financial organization that's independent financial organization, mind you, that believes and admits that we run a pyramid. Why do we run a pyramid? Because this pyramid have stayed for ages. It's a system that works, even though it doesn't really pay the common man, but it works. Now, what's this pyramid? Pyramid is what you see the banks run. Pyramid is what you see any financial organization run. Pyramid is what you see the pension organization, your insurance company, your stockbroker, especially, even they do the same thing. I remember watching a movie. Yeah, if you've seen The Wolf of Wall Street, this is what happened. I come to you, I'm a stockbroker. I tell you, see, there are stocks, and these stocks, you can make a lot of money from these stocks, and they are really juicy. And to be quite honest, he is not, he's not like lying to you. He's being honest. So those stocks are really good stocks. So you invest in those stocks, and you don't really lose your money. So he did good business for you. Now, after a particular while, stocks that you bought $1 now become, after 2 years, $20. Real good money, as in, sincerely, you've made some real money. But now, this is what happened to your money. By the time you come to pick up your money, I'm like, wow, I've made 20 times the money I invested. Your stockbroker now tell you, nah, I hope you trust me. Yeah, you're like, yes, I trust you with everything I have. If you can make me 20 times what I put in, why won't I trust you? And for real, you don't have a reason not to trust him. Now, he now tells you at that particular instant, there is this new stock. You really need to cash into this right now, because in the next 6 months it's going to be huge. And also, mind you, he's also saying the truth. You're like, really? Say, yeah. So you mean I should? Yeah, you should. I mean, that's what I would tell any good friend of mine. You're a big client of mine, and I had to tell you the truth. This is the big thing. This is the next thing. I think you really have to be part of it. So you know what you do? You're like, okay, you've made me 20, doubled, or made 20 times my $1. So let's do this. It's good. You put your money into this, but remember, he makes his cut. So he takes his cut, he puts that in his pocket. You still wait. for the new this thing. So at the end of the day, you find out that your money is always tied down in stock. You're always buying stock at every time, but you know what, you are making money from stock. But at the end of the day, who spends the money per se? The stockbroker, because he's the guy who at every single point remembers that money, he takes his own part of the money, he spends it. When you come to take your own part of the money, he tells you there's a new deal in town and he wants to invest your money in it. And what you want to make more money, so you invest. So at the end of the day, you have pieces of paper called stock, and he have the other pieces of paper called money, so he can spend the money while you hold your pieces of paper called stock. Maybe if you are not really common with stock. Now look at this. This is what the bank do. Let's say Mr. A, Mr. B, and Mr. C are good friends, and Mr. A, who is the guy, Mr. A wants to buy a car. Mr. B has a car to sell, and Mr. C works in the bank. Now Mr. A talks to Mr. B, I want to buy your car, and Mr. B says my car is $10. He said, all right now I don't have $10, but I have $1. Can I give you $1 and pay instrumentally and pay up in say 6 months, or in say 1 year, or depending on as the agreement goes? You're like, okay, let's do this. He pays you ₦1. Now he runs to Mr. C, who is the banker, and said, Mr. C, I have something that I purchased. I need loan to pay up. Now Mr. C said, okay, do you have collateral? Yes. Fine. We are going to finance this project at this particular period of time, and you will pay us this particular amount of money that you took from us with so and so interest. But before this happens, let's hold your collateral. So they hold your collateral, and then you go to the bank. The bank gives Mr. A $1 more. So Mr. A goes to Mr. B and gives him the dollar. Now where do Mr. B keep his money? In the bank. So Mr. B takes his initial $1, puts it in the bank, then takes the other $1 that Mr. A brought, puts it in the bank. Mr. A goes back to the bank, collect another $1, and now give it to Mr. B. Mr. B takes the money, put it back in the bank. Mr. C gives it back to. So now I think you get the picture. So the same money keeps on moving around. At the end of the circle, the bank, which is Mr. C, have given Mr. A this money 9 times, and Mr. A have been able to pay off his debt of the car to Mr. B. So now Mr. B takes the same money and now give it to the bank. Now what happens here? Mr. A is owing Mr. C, which is the bank, and Mr. C, which is the bank, is owing Mr. B. Now Mr. A is owing the bank $9, and the bank is owing Mr. B how much? $10. But in reality, it have just been the same $1 that have been moving around, because initially Mr. A had $1 and gave Mr. B the $1 and promised that he's going to pay in installments. So Mr. B takes the $1 and give it to the bank because it's a safe place to put it. And then Mr. A goes back to Mr. B and collect the money and then give it back to. So it's just the same $1 that have been moving in a triangular movement. So at the end of the day, how do the bank survive? Because the bank have a lot of Mr. B's who pulls their money into the bank for say 5 to 10% interest in a year, and then the bank now takes the same money and gives it to a lot of Mr. A's for say 20 to 40% yearly. So now they've already made 30% interest. Now, because you know what I know, no particular bank, there is no day that everybody's going to stand up and say, yes, we are going to this bank to take our money, you know. Now, because those particular rules apply, the bank always have enough money from people like Mr. B to always pay off other people like Mr. B who put their money in the bank. Now, for all you know, Mr. A now is a servant of the bank because he is owing the bank $9, and until he pays that money, he is still a servant of the bank. So every single time the bank wants him, he's at their beck and call, and if he can't pay that money, they take his collateral and sell it and realize the money. So now, because the bank have a lot of Mr. A's who are owing the bank and are paying the bank, so Mr. B goes and hustle the money and gives it to the bank. All of a sudden, a bank that didn't have 1 naira from my initial illustration now have 9. As in, a bank that doesn't have 1 now have 9. That's the same thing. So in principle, same $1 moving in the hands of 3 people have equated in transaction $20, because the bank gave Mr. A $9. Mr. A initially gave Mr. B $1, that is $10, and the bank have given out Mr. B's money to Mr. A 10 times. So that is $20 from the same $1. Now, what do we do in MMM? We do basically the same thing. I, for one, I call MMM the People's Global Free Bank. I repeat that. The People's Global Free Bank. It is a movement. So get the picture. It is not falling. Because if your banker is still living large, then MMM, we are even living larger. Now, what happens to your pension? You know, you work during your youthful years, you make a lot of money, you set some aside for pension. Very good thought, you know, it's very good. But the thing is, at that particular moment, you are not taking pension. Your pension comes when you retire. So the money you pay to your pension managers is being used at that particular moment to pay the other people who are already old, who are already pensioners, their pension fund. So ask me now, what happened to those people's pension fund when they paid it? Oh no, they used their own pension fund to pay the other guys who probably now are dead. So now, by the time you retire and now need your pension, the new guy who is now like your son is the guy who is working, paying for his pension, and they take his money and give to you. Does that make sense? So that's what pyramid is. MMM is even a stronger pyramid. But in this case, the bank is not the one making all the money. In this case, you are the bank. MMM doesn't have a central bank account. MMM bank account is my bank account, your bank account, your neighbor's bank account, the other guy's bank account, and let me set the picture. MMM is currently in 118 countries, and we have almost 200 to 300 million members globally. MMM came to Nigeria in November, and currently we already can boast of 280 to 290,000 members in a space of 6, 7, 8 months. The seed has been sowed and the reapers are ready. And from every single day, from every single thought, the message of MMM moves from one person to the next person, and it's getting stronger, it's getting global, and right now the world needs it, and it can be stopped. That is why MMM can pay out 30%. Imagine, I started with 10,000. I gave somebody my 10,000, knowing that the fact that from the moment I give out that money, I will get 30% in 30 days. Just the same thing that happened between Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, giving $1 to Mr. B, and Mr. B giving it to the bank, which is Mr. C, and Mr. C gives back the $1 to Mr. B, and now the $1 means that Mr. A is now owing Mr. C, which is the bank. Same thing that happens here, but in this case, you are owing nobody. Why? Because MMM is a platform for giving help and receiving help. It is not a platform for investment. It is not a multi-level marketing company. We don't sell any product whatsoever. When you come under the umbrella of MMM, you are here to give help to the next guy who is a member of MMM. And the same way you give help, that's the same way you receive help from this same community. So you owe nobody. So if you started with 10,000 and you give the 10,000 to somebody, and after 30 days your 10,000 now turns to 13,000, some other person who wants to make money from his 13,000 pays into your own account, and then you have your 13,000. You're like, wow, this is 30%. But you realizing the fact that your 13,000 in your hands still remains 13,000. So how do I make this 13,000 even more? So I take this 13,000, I put it back into the system. Now I get the 30% of 13,000. And when I get paid that 13,000 plus its 30%, I get it. I give it back, because I know now I'm going to even make more 30% from my yield. Clearer? Just a pyramid. I pay you, you pay me, we pay one another. Now some people are of the conception that the more people that comes into MMM, the more it's going to crash, the more it can be able to pay. Well, the truth is, let's leave this this whole balderdash. The more people MMM absorbs, the more members we sign on, the more people that come under this platform, the stronger this platform becomes. Why do you think the banks go every day trying to get new customers? Because the more people that comes to the bank, the stronger the bank becomes. Oh, did you forget that the more people that comes to the bank, the more the bank also give out money? Because if you had only 100 customers and now you go out and get 1,000 customers, before you used to give out withdrawals to just 100 customers. Before having 1,000 customers, now you are giving out withdrawals to 1,000 customers. But don't forget that now you are getting deposit from 1,000 customers instead of your initial 100 customers. The more we are, the stronger we are. So can MMM last for long? Yes, it can. It can even outstay the banks. Now secondly, this same MMM, if the whole world joins MMM, will it really fall? I think you've gotten your answer already. It only gets even stronger than it is today. And mind you, it is really, really strong. MMM as a platform is bigger than the 7 most populous country in the world. I'm a Nigerian. We have a population of over 170 million, and currently MMM dwarfs this population. Does that make sense? That is how MMM works. Now, I know you'll be thinking, what if it comes to the point where MMM, won't be able to pay out, this 30%? Well, let me take a simple, let me just take a simple research example. For instance, when I got into MMM, I registered. I started with 50,000. I talked to my sister. She joined. She started with 100,000. All of a sudden, my in-law, my brother-in-law, he liked it, so he joined. He started with 100,000. At the end of the month, three of us, we made a 30%. The next month, I now came in with 220,000. My in-law increased his from 100,000 to 200,000. My sister increased hers from 100,000 to 150,000. Are you seeing a pattern here? People are increasing their PHs. What we call PHs is provision of help. You know, when I want to provide help, I PH, that's provide help. When I want to get help, I GH, that is get help. Now, in Nigeria, for instance, we have a statistics of over 98% of people who withdraw money from MMM reinvest the money. And not to talk of the fact that most of them who withdraw money actually invest a huge sum into the system. And that's why it is even very, 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 very strong. Now, there is an analogy I make this analogy anytime I speak. It's just something of a funnel. You know the way a funnel is shaped? That the mouth is wide and it has a little channel that the water rushes out. Now, this same principle is what we use in making water fountains. You make sure that the water doesn't rush off immediately, that there is something that wedges the water from rushing off so that it can actually be refilled in the process. Once the amount of people collecting money in MMM is lower than the people depositing money in MMM, once the amount of inflow is equal or more than the amount that is going out, MMM will sustain itself forever. Just simple mathematics, simple statistics. Now, what are the rules in MMM? I think rules plays a very, very, very huge part to the success of MMM. Any particular society that thrives, any particular society that is doing well, any particular society that has a futuristic ideology, an ideology that surpasses where they are at present, must have a robust enforcement of laws and rules. Now in MMM we do quite the same. When I say we, I'm MMM true and true. First of all, in MMM you can have two accounts. Every participant is assigned a single account. You are advised to have a single account for your own good, because we do one. MMM is no respecter of anybody. This particular organization is run by the people. I call it the People Financial Global Bank. We run it, and in this particular global bank we have the say of what happens. Now, you are not permitted to have two accounts. And what is the penalty? You have two accounts, your account will be blocked, mind you. Second, you must be of legal age to join MMM. That is just the same way you can't go to a casino if you're not 18 years old. In MMM, you can't open an account with MMM if you are not of legal age. Now you can cross-check what the legal age is in your region or in your territory or in your country. Then secondly, you must own a bank account. MMM don't pay you, come into house to pay you, or send a courier to deliver your money to you. No. You must have a contact where we can pay in the money. So at the instance when you are registering, you must fill up your form and put your bank details. Second. Now this is another one. It is tricky. MMM prohibits the registration of a family member right under you. In this case, in a special case, Not that you can't register a family member, you can, but it's tricky. Your family member will not provide more help than you. So if you're doing 100,000, your family member is going to do 100,000 or less. And why is it like this? It is so because we try to cut out greed even before it raises its ugly head. We nip it in the bud, not giving it the chance to grow. This is what people will do if you allow, if you remove this particular rule. Because everybody asks, so why is that rule there? So I can't register my brother. Oh, can't I register my wife? Yeah, you can register your wife. But this is what happens. If I introduce MMM to you, I get something from that. And that's what we call a bonus, a referral bonus. Now, I'm going to match this particular part with the benefits of MMM, because the bonus part of this discussion or this presentation has to do with the benefits of MMM. Now, if I register somebody in MMM, I'm his or her referrer, so I get 10% of the amount of money he is providing as help anytime he provides help. In MMM, you can provide help 10 times a month, 20 times a month, and the same vein, you can also withdraw, as in get help as many times as you want, solely your discretion. Now, in a situation where I have my brother registered under me and I'm doing like 100,000, instead of providing the help of 100,000, knowing that the guy on top of me, the guy who referred me, is going to get 10,000, which is 10% of my 100,000, I will decide to become greedy. So I give my brother who is below me 100,000. Please help me PH this money, provide this money as help, so I can get the 10% of this money, and at the same time I will also get the 30%, because when the 30% is paid to you, I can take my money and 30% plus the 10%, and I've gotten 40%. And we frown upon things like that. Now, those are the rules. In MMM, if your account, your password is being changed often in MMM, your account will be placed on moratorium. That is a situation whereby you can't receive help for a period of 14 days or more. Because why? It's a safety measure. We want to make sure that somebody didn't hack into your accounts. We want to make sure that you were the one who changed those details. Because why? Hackers could also be on rampage. We really need to be very careful and vigilant. Now, benefits of MMM. Imagine you start making money like a stockbroker. You sit down in Bahamas just with your smartphone, transferring money and making money, providing help to people, and getting people to provide help to you. It's a benefit. It's a life of luxury. It's a life of peace of mind. People work from day to day, leave their house from 5 a.m. and come back 11 p.m. At the end of the day, at the end of a year, they still cry there's no money. We have been slaves. We have been walking like elephants, eating like ants. It's got to stop. And what MMM is preaching is a financial apocalypse. And it's already unraveling. It's getting stronger by the day. Hear you me. Watching this particular video presentation is a unique opportunity for you to join this platform. I tell some people most time, I say, I would love you to join MMM, but I won't force you to join MMM. Why? Because whether you join MMM or not, I still make money. It is not really a network company where I really need to register a lot of people to make money, or I need to move from one stage to the next stage to the other stage and that stage, and then give me a car and all that. All those things that other network promises you. We'll give you a car at stage 3, we'll give you a ride at stage 4, we'll build your house in stage 5, we'll do this in stage 7. We don't promise you that. You grow your money by providing help to somebody, and receiving help from some other person, and then you decide what you want to do with your money. If you want to reinvest your money and get another 30%, it's solely your discretion. Now, how much do you join MM with? Globally, the least amount is $10. $10. And the maximum is $10,000. So what are you waiting for? My name is Prince, and with this I've wrapped up, and this is a conclusion of what MMM stands for, of where MMM is going through, a financial apocalypse, for what we stand for, a fair, just financial order, and the benefits. Relax, cool off. You've been working too long. Your forefathers worked the same way. They didn't make too much money. Your mother worked the same way. She's not really making too much money. Your father worked the same way. He developed stroke because he was stressed. Didn't have time to go to vacation. You can actually be the difference. Now, as I'm talking to you, talk to your friends. You will not regret. You will get my contact, and you will like to call me. You will write me and tell me, Prince, what you said on this day changed my life. Thank you for your time. Peace. MMM rocks. Bye.